Pokrovsk direction, Donetsk region, sovereign Ukrainian territory. The Russians have no hopes of capturing the Donetsk region, but each time they face strong Ukrainian resistance. A Ukrainian reconnaissance drone spotted the movement of a Russian T-80 tank. A kamikaze drone pilot of the Magyar Birds takes off immediately after him and begins to attack the moving target. The drone pilot strikes. The explosion is visible from afar, but now there will be closer footage. Here we see that the tank was stopped. To protect it, the Russians used electronic warfare systems and, for some reason, carried 6 anti-tank mines on it. However, this did not help them. The kamikaze drone pilot delivers another precise strike. The operator looks for the weakest point to strike. He finds an open hatch, and this is the best place to blow up the tank. Here we can see that the Russian fled so fast that he forgot to take his helmet. Tank detonates and bursts into flames. But that's not all. The tank was full of ammunition because it was heading to its position to shell Ukrainian territory. However, it was intercepted by the kamikaze drone. So, let's watch. The tank is catching fire and an ammunition detonation is about to happen. And here is another Russian assault on the second day. The weather is snowy, but the Russians didn't have time to camouflage their tank. Look closely. Russian assault troops are heading into battle while riding on top of the armor. During the dismounting of the assault troops, a Ukrainian kamikaze drone caught up with them and struck the tank. The Russians started shooting back, but today's video is not about them. The Night Doctor will take care of them. Now, the focus is on the tank. It is visibly damaged, but trying to escape. Another kamikaze drone is flying in to intercept it. The Ukrainian drone pilot strikes. The tank is struggling to move, but it hasn't stopped. That's why another kamikaze drone is on its way to finish the job. And here we can see the burned-out remains of the tank I showed in the first report, a heap of scrap metal, nothing more. This is what the tank looked like a day before the snowfall. And this is a tank that dropped off infantry and is now fleeing. It will also be attacked by a Ukrainian kamikaze drone. The drone pilot catches up with it and delivers a powerful blow. The tank gradually begins to lose speed and finally stops. It halts behind a tree line, fully loaded with ammunition. One more drone strike, and there will be a massive explosion. The last hit of the drone, and the tank explodes with ammunition. The Russian armored personnel carrier, or as Ukrainian soldiers call it, worm armor, is parked between the trees. A Ukrainian kamikaze drone pilot delivers a precise strike on the APC, setting it ablaze. The weather is snowy, but the Ukrainian military continue their work. One hit was enough to burn it to the ground. Another interesting episode. Russian armored personnel carriers have detonated remotely installed mines and are now stuck in the middle of the field, waiting for Ukrainian kamikaze drone pilots to destroy them. A kamikaze drone pilot aims at the first armored personnel carrier and destroys it. Reconnaissance with another drone confirms that the armored personnel carrier is on fire. There is also a rather interesting situation here. A tank and an armored personnel carrier hit a mine almost next to each other. The explosion tore the tank's track, so it could no longer continue to move. It's not known how the armored personnel carrier ended up near it, but it will be a good detonation. We see the explosion. It seems that it is too weak to destroy the armored vehicles, but it's not. It is enough to completely burn a tank and an armored personnel carrier. The tank caught fire and detonated, destroying the armored personnel carrier that was standing nearby. Here's another armored personnel carrier that dropped off Russian worms in a Ukrainian tree line for the Night Doctor. It was intercepted by Ukrainian kamikaze drone pilots who began their attack. The first hit, but the armored personnel carrier continues to move, so Ukrainian pilots continue to perform their mission. The armored personnel carrier is moving from one tree line to another, a distance of about 1.5 kilometers. Then it is intercepted by another kamikaze drone. Another hit, but the Russian armored personnel carrier continues to move. The armored personnel carrier reaches the forest, but it has no chance of survival. The one-way ticket has been used. The final strike, and the Russian armored personnel carrier burns out on the job. Here, some Russian assault squad got lost and drove onto the death road. They were met by the pilot of the Magyar Birds. One hit, and the target is destroyed. The Russians stopped driving on this road after they started losing a huge amount of equipment. You can see the remains of scrap metal on the left and right. Here, Ukrainian kamikaze drone pilots are destroying Russian artillery guns. These pilots are called sopilkaris or panpipe because the barrel of the artillery gun resembles a flute, and after the kamikaze drone strikes it, there are holes left that completely ruin the gun barrel. After hitting the target, another drone always comes to make sure that the gun barrel is really destroyed. Here's a night operation. Night kamikaze drone pilots easily spot the artillery guns that recently shelled Ukrainian positions. The reason is that the barrel of the gun heats up, making it very easy to detect with a thermal imaging camera. Even a small dent in the gun barrel renders it inoperable. Repairing it on the battlefield is also impossible, and the barrels themselves are in short supply, so the Russians never remove them from the battlefield after a hit. That's all for today, friends. Subscribe to the channel to not miss new videos. This material was prepared by Hustler. See you soon.